The Villisca Axe Murders, a night of terror. The small town of Villisca, Iowa, was a quiet, tight-knit community in the early 1900s. Nestled amidst rolling fields and sleepy streets, it was the kind of place where everyone knew each other and doors were seldom locked. But on the night of June 9th, 1912, an unspeakable horror would shatter this tranquility, leaving a legacy of fear and mystery that endures to this day. The Moore family, Josiah, his wife Sarah, and their 4 children, Herman, Catherine, Boyd, and Paul, were well-respected members of Villisca. That Sunday, the family attended a Children's Day service at their local Presbyterian church. Joining them were 2 young guests, Lena and Ina Stillinger, who had asked to stay the night at the Moore household. As the evening grew late, the family and their guests returned home, unaware that a nightmare was about to unfold. The house on 508 East 2nd Street was a picture of domestic serenity as the Moores and the Stillinger sisters settled into their beds. The only sounds were the soft rustle of sheets and the occasional creak of the old house settling. But lurking in the shadows was a figure with deadly intent. Sometime after midnight, the tranquility was shattered. An unknown assailant, wielding Josiah's own axe, slipped into the house. He first made his way to the master bedroom where Josiah and Sarah slept. In a flurry of brutal, merciless blows, he brought the axe down on their heads, the sound muffled by the heavy thud of the weapon and the quick efficiency of his actions. Blood pooled around their lifeless bodies as the killer turned his attention to the children. One by one, he entered the rooms where Herman, Catherine, Boyd, and Paul lay sleeping. Each child was struck with the same cold, relentless violence. Their small bodies were no match for the savage force of the axe. Finally, he descended the narrow staircase to the guest room where Lena and Ina Stillinger were sleeping. Despite evidence suggesting Lena had woken and tried to fight back, the killer's brutal assault left her and her sister dead. The next morning, neighbor Mary Peckham noticed the unusual quiet at the Moore residence. Concerned, she knocked on their door but received no response. Growing more anxious, she called Josiah's brother, Ross Moore, who arrived and entered the house. What he discovered inside was a scene of unimaginable horror. 8 bodies, brutally bludgeoned to death. News of the massacre spread like wildfire, plunging the town of Villisca into chaos and fear. Law enforcement from surrounding areas descended upon the town, but the crime scene had already been compromised by curious townsfolk eager to glimpse the grisly aftermath. The investigation yielded several suspects, each with their own peculiarities and motives. Frank F. Jones, a local businessman and rival of Josiah, was suspected due to their acrimonious history. Reverend George Kelly, an itinerant preacher with a strange fascination for the murders, confessed but was later acquitted. William Mansfield, a known axe murderer, was also considered, yet no concrete evidence linked him to the crime. Despite exhaustive investigations and numerous theories, the identity of the killer remained elusive. The case grew cold, and the once vibrant Moore home became a symbol of tragedy and terror. The Villisca Axe Murders left an indelible mark on the town. As years passed, the house where the Moores and the Stillinger sisters met their horrific end stood as a haunting reminder of that fateful night. Visitors claimed to hear whispers, see shadowy figures, and feel an oppressive presence within its walls. The mystery of who committed the Villisca Axe Murders and why remains unsolved. The quiet town of Villisca, forever changed by that night of terror, continues to live under the shadow of one of America's most chilling unsolved crimes. The tale of the Villisca Axe Murders endures, a dark and eerie story that beckons those who dare to seek the truth only to find more questions than answers.